welcome to TJD Movie Reviews, Episode 2. I made these guys watch Riki-Oh, the story of Riki. How do you guys feel?
Dead inside.
Not enlightened?
I have cancer.
You guys didn't enjoy it?
There were parts I enjoyed, but I think you could put them together in one clip on YouTube for like a half hour, and you would have saved yourself another hour.
But in 91, what else were you doing?
91, I was 4, so I don't know what I was doing. Probably playing with my G.I. Joes and my turtles.
Real turtles?
No. The Teenage Mutant Ninja type.
This is a rough intro.
Uh-oh.
I'm leaving it.
Okay.
Not? So this movie is about a man in prison in China. We're to believe, I guess?
I believe so.
Okay.
Well, it says a capitalistic society, so... But, yeah. Which China, I don't think really was, were they? So, I don't know. It said 2001. So, the near future from 1991.
Just like Mystery Man.
Just like Mystery Men.
Anyways, this man has superhuman strength, and, he has a hard-on for justice.
I don't even think you can say that.
I think he just has a hard-on for murder in general.
I'll agree.
He's very good at it. He's very good at flying remote-control planes.
He likes punching.
He likes punching a lot, and blood does not bother him one bit.
Nope. So how did we open?
Well, you open with the dang bus. Well, one, you open with the Media Asia Arts, showing up like 4 times in the entrance.
Okay. Kanoko did the same thing with Terminator 2.
I don't care.
I care. You act like it's a horrible thing, and you hated the movie before the movie even started. You just hated the fact that they played the same studio intro 2 times in a row.
4.
I swear to God, the VHS I have of Terminator 2 played the Kanoko thing 2 fucking times in a row. I rest my case.
I have no frame of reference here.
I rest my case that neither one of you give a fuck about, apparently. Alright, it isn't that crazy. It happened.
Anyways, they open up with the prison bus going into the prison. And you watch that for like 5 minutes.
Did you enjoy it? Were you on the edge of your seat?
No, I was not.
Okay.
Just like in Mystery Man, there's so much time wasted. But this movie is for enjoyment purposes.
Mm-hmm.
You're not watching this movie because you're like, oh, I can't wait for great character development and a great plot. No, this movie is
short on both.
No, it's purely for enjoyment. You could tell they're not taking this movie seriously at all.
They weren't going for Academy Awards.
Who directed this movie?
Johnny Wang? Whatever you said?
The director's name is Lick Wong.
Lick Wong. I should remember that.
You'll never forget that now.
I will. I already did. You told me.
And I'll be there to remind you every step of the way.
After this pod, I'm going to do everything I can to try and forget this film.
It's going to haunt your
You
nightmares.
start drinking now.
I should have started drinking like 2 hours ago.
I enjoy it more than Mystery Men.
I enjoyed portions of...
Here's the thing. Mystery Men was $60 million. There's no way in fuck this movie cost anywhere near $60 million. No. I think they went into it knowing we don't have money to make anything worth a fuck. So why don't we just make something kind of fun that we would all enjoy?
Like, when the action was happening, it was a hilarious film. It was entertaining. But in between those points, there was nothing. Mm-hmm. And literally, I was fighting off trying not to fall asleep.
Did you ever see Troll 2?
No, I did not see Troll 2.
Troll 2 is kind of the same way. Troll 2 is hilarious when something's happening, and when something isn't happening, then it's just kind of like, this is bad, and I don't enjoy it. But the dialogue kind of carries that movie a little bit. This movie doesn't really have a lot of dialogue.
No.
It has about 5 voiceover actors, and they just kind of rotate them throughout. But back to the movie, do you remember why he's in jail?
Manslaughter? I thought that's what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed the guy that killed his girlfriend.
Which
Essentially. Which
essentially.
really isn't even the guy who killed his girlfriend.
Literally punched a crater in the side of his face. After walking into 5 or 6 bullets.
Yeah.
Because Riki-Oh is just a bad motherfucker.
And he's keeping them for souvenirs.
Yep.
Yeah. Then, you move into, he's now part of the general population.
In this prison where you can do whatever the fuck you please.
There seem to be no rules. Well, except for the North has the North side, the West gang has the West side, East gang has the East side, and South gang has the South side. As they like to explain, not that you would, get that on your own, but...
Or that you ever cared.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that narration.
Would you guys like to take a crack at how much money this movie made at box office?
Like
U.S. dollars?
U.S. dollars?
It had a theatrical release in the U.S.
What, 1.6?
Well, I'm talking about how much money it made. Like
total. 10 million.
Is that high or low?
That's way high.
$1 million.
Less than that.
20,000.
Gosh.
Higher than that.
500,000.
$276,546. U.S.
Total.
Total.
That's home box office and everything.
It just says box office. So.
It had a theatrical release. That fucking astonishes me.
Mm-hmm.
In 91, little Ty could have gone to a theater and watched Riki-Oh.
I'm sorry, that's not global. That's just in Hong Kong.
Oh.
So it doesn't say anything about U.S.
Never mind. In 91, little Ty could have gone somewhere else. And done
I could have gone to Hong Kong.
You could have gone to Hong Kong.
And watched Riki-Oh.
He's sold into sex trafficking.
But, then they start off, he runs into, the leader of the captain of the North gang.
Yeah, more or less, he's just in this prison trying to do his own thing, and he starts to realize that there's a bunch of crooked fuckers running around.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain prisoners that have more privileges than others, and they just, murder and do whatever they want. And some old guy gets killed at the beginning of the movie did they kill him in the bathroom?
No.
They didn't kill him then.
No.
That's right. They hung him.
Yep.
And claimed it was a suicide. Well, we got to bring up the train.
Yeah.
This old man has this train, this little wooden train for some reason.
It was a gift he made for his son.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh. All right, he made a little wooden train for his son.
Because he was getting off on probation.
Yeah, he was going to...
That's right.
He was going to get released.
Home. How do we follow this better than you, and you've seen this movie way more times than us?
I've only seen it twice now.
Still.
It just had a hell of an impact on me.
That's 100% more times than we've seen it.
We've seen it.
Guys, I drink a lot. I have a problem I've been meaning to talk to you about.
How are those ginger ales?
They're pretty good.
Okay.
So this guy is in this bathroom, and they kind of just start fucking with him for no reason. Just, you shouldn't be out here, and we run shit, and blah, blah, blah. They slap this guy around a little bit.
Break the train over his head.
They break the train over his head. And what did the guy have? Did we ever find out?
No, it looked like some sort of wood tool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever it was sharp. And this guy ends up tripping and falling and impaling his mannequin head on this thing. Clearly a dummy.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love. I laugh every time. Because it looks terrible.
Yes. Every close-up is obviously a mannequin. You can't even argue with it. It's like they didn't even... obviously they're not going to put these guys in bodily harm, but...
Right.
They didn't try to hide the fact it's a mannequin.
Nope. They did whatever was quickest, and that's why the movie's fantastic.
But Riki-Oh actually stands up for this old guy. He has no idea who he is. But he stands up for him, and actually ends up getting the old man killed. Because Riki-Oh standing up against this guy, trickle-down effect, guy doesn't get his probation, he gets knocked off.
And his corpse is hanging in
Yeah.
the jail.
Somebody finds his body hung. I think it was one of the guards.
So cut to the guards taking this old man out on a stretcher.
In the rain.
And Ricky just is hanging out in the yard, not in his jail cell, because, when you're in prison for a violent crime, you can just go and, do what you please. I mean, you're a person. You have rights. The right to not be in captivity.
It was his free time. You know, everybody usually does middle of the day. He's like, I want to do night in the rain.
Right. So it's really dramatic. He pulls the sheet off and looks at his face, and you can see the anguish in this young actor's expression. And he reaches into his shirt and pulls out the train that was broken over the guy's face.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Drew pointed out that perhaps he built a train in a short amount of time to replace the gift to his son, but...
He can walk out of jail cells whenever he feels like it. Why can't he build model trains in his jail cell?
Honestly, would you have been surprised when I fucked with you and said he flies at the end of this movie? Would you have been surprised?
No, absolutely no, not at all. No.
If he just stuck his fist in the air...
No, because literally...
flew through the ceiling.
Anything could have happened in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, logic and physics just go out the
window. Did not exist in this film.
He's like Superman. Like a really fucking violent
I would rather
Superman.
watch this than watch any Superman anything.
I know.
I would not
figured
agree
you would
with
feel that way.
I'll watch this over Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, and probably Superman 3.
In Returns.
I didn't mind Returns.
No, Returns is terrible.
No, Returns is pretty bad.
I didn't mind it.
Oh, God.
You wasted your Kevin Spacey. Fucking squandered it.
Well, see, I saw it on DVD, though. I didn't feel like I was out money. So
I'd rather watch Riki-Oh 2 times than watch Superman Returns once. Because they take the exact amount of time.
Alright.
Anyways.
Different levels of hate. I like it.
But what happens after he gives the train to the dead body, he then Kevin Bacon's footloose punch dance his way in the rain, which was actually quite comical.
At first you said Kevin Bacon, I was like, Kevin Bacon is not in this movie at all.
No, but how he footloose dances.
Yeah.
But he did it with martial arts.
It's a thing of beauty.
Oh.
So most of the movie is him going up against this assistant warden, I guess you would call this guy.
That is what he is.
This
man that has a fake eye that he keeps mincing.
And a hook.
He
reminded me of Dr. Claw.
A hook for a hand.
Except you can actually see his face.
He can click together. It's kind of an odd claw design.
Mm-hmm. And his wall full of porno.
Yeah. They really needed to let you know that he's a piece of shit.
Yes.
That everyone that watches porn is a fucking scumbag.
Mm-hmm. But he also eats mints out of his fake eye.
Yeah. And drinks water. Remember, his eye was in that cup. He was drinking water.
Yeah.
Because that's true. That same thing. I was like, is that an eyeball in his water? Yeah, it turned out it was his eye.
It's his eye.
Yeah.
Why not just put it in your water? Freshen up your drink a little bit.
Clean it up.
He's really an environmentalist.
If you think about it.
He saves water by, washing off his fake eye and drinking it for nourishment.
But Riki-Oh himself is like Wolverine in this film. He takes a beating, but he seems to recover it. I mean, his first meeting with the warden, he takes his hook hand and stabs him through the table, but then next scene, his hand is perfectly fine.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But I don't even... Honestly, I'd kind of lost it where this film even goes from there.
It doesn't really go many places. Really, if you want to watch violence that was probably made for $20, this is the best movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that's a very narrow...
In my search on the internet,
but
$20 or less gore.
And it's the only movie that comes up.
Yeah.
It's probably the bloodiest movie that comes up.
Probably. Next to Carrie when she gets all that blood dumped on her at the very end of the film.
So
they're all going to laugh at you.
So my niece is coming into town. Would you recommend this movie for her?
How old's your niece?
38? She's 5.
Yeah, you said I should go see it when I was 4.
Is she mature for her age?
Probably not.
I'm going to say no, then. I don't think she would get a lot out of this.
Well, I was planning on renting it, and we're watching it. Bond as a family.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to bond in group therapy, then go ahead.
What better way?
What better way than...
It's the American dream, right?
Nothing brings a family together like Riki-Oh, the story of Riki.
Which, You know what? I will say the dubbing was at least somewhat close. I mean, it wasn't great, but
it was pretty comical.
Yeah. At least it looked like they tried.
I just like movies where they seem like they had a good time making it, and I think this movie would have been fucking awesome to make.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it seems like they enjoyed it.
Well,
the kinds of effects.
They kept introducing random prisoners for Riki-Oh, and to form a bond with, and then they'd kill him off right away. Mm-hmm. It's like, I would hate to be that actor and be like, oh, now I have a scene with Riki-Oh? Oh, shit. Tomorrow's my last day of filming.
Also, when you're in prison, you develop a lot of time to play leaves as instruments.
Yes. Yeah. He played it like a badass orchestra flute.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason, because he's a flautist.
Flautist?
Yes, that's how you say that. He plays the flute.
Huh.
Apparently he went to music school for a few years.
Oh yeah, because he had to drop. He dropped out because his uncle had to teach him chachi or tchotchkes or whatever.
Ching Wang.
Joni loves chachi.
I think I wrote down. It's oh my gosh, like Chico. Yeah, that's what he called it.
Chikun.
Oh
yeah. His uncle, who he runs into after school when he's going through the graveyard.
Oh man,
on that foggy noon-looking
day.
I don't even know why they bothered with character development in this movie at all.
Oh my gosh.
I think it adds to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, the whole girlfriend thing was hilarious because of, like, what happens, but, like, yeah, the uncle flashback was worthless.
I mean, the only real reason for the uncle scene at all is to showcase the fact that he has superhuman powers. Mm-hmm. But you can kind of see that when he's punching through walls and punching holes in people's faces.
Or, taking a hook through the hand and then ripping a guy's arm off.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's nothing. Or getting stabbed in the arm to where it's disabled and then single-handedly tying all of his tendons back together.
Oh yeah, that was great, yeah.
Like it's a shoelace. And then all of a sudden it's fine.
He's just that hardcore. I don't know what you don't believe about it.
Yeah,
he's the guy.
You were talking about the movie Mystery Men where the guys get the shit beat out of them and then there was nothing wrong with them at all.
Yes. But at least I pointed it out.
Yeah, but this movie's not trying to take itself seriously.
No, it isn't.
That was my problem with Mystery Men. It kind of tried to take itself seriously, and it kind of tried to not do it, and, I don't know, just make up your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like this one better, because it's, hey, we're obviously fucking around.
They chose a tone and stuck with it.
And you immediately turn your brain off, because you're like, obviously, I don't need to think when I watch this movie. Might make me seem a little dense, that I enjoy it so much, but I don't know, it's kind of nice to watch a movie and not have to be focused on every detail. Which is why we're not talking about the movie all that much.
No, well, there's not much to talk about. Like, all he does is he keeps going around, he gets in trouble with the Lieutenant Warden, and so they send somebody else to try and kill him, and then he murders them in some gorish, fantastic way, which some of these fights are hilarious to watch, but...
You know, I just realized, the guy with the blonde hair that you didn't like his hair, when did he die?
He got shot, remember? He was trying to get away, and the warden shot him before he left.
That's right.
He was trying to get in that dumbwaiter.
Mm-hmm.
And then the girl guy, I couldn't figure out what it is. I guess she just died when she kicked through the furnace?
She got her legs ripped off.
Yeah, she kicked through that, like, I think it was boiling water. It was like a water heater or whatever. And then she kicked through it. He broke off her leg, and then I think he... like, ripped off the other one or something.
Okay, so 2 of the 4 died in that room.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then then the other one got squished to death, and then the other one died in the bathroom.
Just lots of death.
Yeah.
Lots of death.
Well, and then, they're like, oh, we're going to throw this guy at him. All right. So, like, the leader of the North, like, because each wing had a leader, and they were called, like, the
Gang of 4.
The Gang of 4, thank you. And so, one of them is like just a big motherfucker, just big. Tarzan was his name. Another one,
biker looking dude.
Yeah. Then another one threw like needles or something. I don't know. Sewing needles was his thing, and he could
kind of like Scorpion, but he did it with both hands.
Then there was the female-ish looking one. Couldn't quite tell, but
It's either a guy or a girl.
Sexually ambiguous character.
Yeah, who is probably the best fighter of them all. Actually gave Riki-Oh a good beating. Smallest of them all, I think, but probably the best fighter. And then you had the leader of the North, who was the one who Riki-Oh already had embarrassed. And that's why he killed his, I guess, friend, the old man who was about to get out.
Yeah.
So, the whole thing is then the Lieutenant Warden's like, all right, we're going to get back at him. We're going to send this big sumo assassin after him. Which leads to one of the first gory scenes. So they are all showering. And the sumo wrestler comes in. I think his name was Zorro.
Yes.
Yep.
And he punches Ricky up against... Well, he punches Ricky, sends him clear across the room into a wall.
That happens a lot in this.
It does. Yeah. Oh, then what? Riki-Oh takes it upon himself to then rip out his liver.
He punches a hole through his stomach and then just bleeding out of his stomach. The special effects are amazing. They're quite amazing.
Oh, I couldn't believe that. Yep. All right.
Did it
That's
not
fine.
immediately set the tone for everything?
Yes,
That's pretty much the first time you're like, okay, we know what this movie is.
Your expectations immediately come down, and you're like, all right.
Which I misspeaking. He wasn't the leader of the North gang. That was the other guy with the big tattoo. This guy was just like his underling or something. He was a big guy, but he wasn't the leader.
Right.
Because that fight comes later in that. What? No, but then this guy stabs Riki-Oh after he defeats the sumo wrestler by ripping out his liver, stabs him in the hand with a needle, and Riki-Oh then just breaks his hand.
Yep.
With the needle still stuck in it. What, does he take it back and throw it at him? I don't remember how he kills him.
He slowly pulls...
Because it sounded like it was coming out of styrofoam.
Yep. The sound effects are amazing.
Oh.
Especially like the when they're walking people away and stuff, the footstep sounds.
Yep.
They're not synced up at all.
Or the flute.
The flute noises that make no sense.
The flute in this movie is outrageous. It's about on par with Ron Burgundy playing saxophone.
The Yaz flute. He plays the Yaz flute.
He does play the
Oh, fuck,
so they're very similar, actually.
Yeah, they're very similar.
I think Ron Burgundy might have been inspired by Riki-Oh.
Probably.
How do I say saxophone?
I don't know.
What the fuck? Maybe I have a tumor.
You should go back and watch Anchorman.
I've seen Anchorman a million times.
It's not a tumor.
Apparently I just forget shit. Getting you to watch this was like telling you I'm going to pull all your teeth out of your fucking mouth, though. You were like, ugh.
Okay, you were the same way about Mystery Men, though. You're like, oh, I know I haven't seen this, but I saw one trailer, and I'm like, oh, this is going to give me cancer.
It'll be nice once we actually get to watch some decent movies.
Like Super Mario?
Yeah.
It is a decent film.
No, it's not.
I retract that statement.
I can only imagine I'm going to be disappointed. I've been putting it off for years.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that you have.
But yeah, spoiler alert, we're going to do that next, probably.
So let's talk some more about some of these fight scenes, because that's really the only things in this film that I think that matter. Because they're the funniest things, they're the most entertaining things, in my opinion, except for one flashback of his girlfriend. Other than that...
Oh, you enjoyed that? You sick fuck.
It wasn't what happened to her, it was how it was filmed.
The way it was done.
Yeah, that was amazing. Like some shit out of the other guys.
Yeah.
They had a budget.
And they actually got to play There Goes My Hero.
Alright. So we talked about the shower fight.
Yep.
Then does he take on the leader of the North next?
We talked about the assistant warden fight. He fights the leader of the North, the tattooed guy, out in the yard. I can't remember. He had a knife, right?
He had a knife at one time, and he stabbed the one guy in the face. That's how he got Riki-Oh to react. Is because there was one guy that was a prisoner who had a sword who was going to take vengeance. Well, then the leader of the North just stabbed him in the face with it. So then he put him on a crucifix, which where he got the wood to build this giant crucifix, I don't know, in the yard. So Riki-Oh then goes out to the yard to fight the leader of the North, who has chained his friend to this crucifix, and an epic brawl just breaks out. Riki-Oh keeps getting his butt beat. All the prisoners are just sitting around watching this fight. You see other prisoners from the other portions trying to look in on this fight. I'm trying to think. This is where Riki-Oh gets cut. Yeah, he had the sword. Ties his tendons back together so that he's able to use his arm again.
Punches his elbow out.
Oh, yeah. He does that a lot in this film.
He's pretty brutal.
Yes.
Dismemberment.
Riki-Oh is all about Mortal Kombat X-rays.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. There's even like a part
in
the movie
where he flips him upside down and punches him in the face.
Goes to an X-ray. That was,
you gotta admit, that was pretty cool.
I said the fight scenes are great. It's everything else. They're hilarious. They're fun to watch. But when it's not a fight scene, this movie is dull.
Were you really expecting like anything else?
Once the fight scenes started happening, I thought those were going to continue to happen. Just like the whole time you guys talked about, Jake mentioned that the fights go on for a while. Like I wasn't expecting, like you guys talked about the raid as one giant fight scene, but I thought
the raid is on a whole other level.
Yeah, you can't even begin to compare this movie with the raid.
But I don't know. I didn't expect there to be such lulls in the film. Lulls.
There were lots of walls.
I was lolling over there. It's fucking hot as hell over there.
I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sweating like a dog at a Chinese restaurant.
Oh my god.
It's about this movie.
One thing I thought was kind of interesting was the fact that every time the villains would like gang up on Riki, or Riki would be cornered or held in chains or shackled in any way, shape, or form, he would just be sitting there taking it for like minutes and minutes and minutes, and they'd be laughing at him and just beating the shit out of him. And then all of a sudden, he just rips out of any bindings he has or anything. And it's just fine. He's fine.
Literally happens 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Where they had him in the jail cell. They had him in concrete. They had him in rebar. How the fuck did he get out of the rebar?
He jumped through it, remember? Or no,
out of it?
The rebar?
Yeah. I don't remember how he got out. Maybe
they let him out. They didn't do anything. Because they put all those razor blades in his mouth, and he spit them out, and then next scene, he's in a prison cell again, tied up in chains. Because then he eats the rice off the floor.
Yeah, he's right.
So they kind of let him out. Why take all the time to put him in that rebar? I don't know.
Why didn't they just kill him?
They wanted to know what made him tick.
Who gives a fuck?
Villains in terrible movies.
Oh, man. Yeah, they should have just killed him.
It's the same reason they're like, Mr. Bond, I'm going to tie you to this table and tell you fucking half-hour-long stories so you can escape and, we make 9 more of these movies.
Leave the slowly pointing laser at your genitals and walk out of the room. Mm-hmm. There's no way you're going to get out of it.
I mean, I could just shoot you in the fucking face, but...
But where's the fun in that?
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to step back quick to that Leader of the North fight. I remember Riki-Oh punches through his stomach again.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, well, I'm not going alone. So he rips out his own intestines.
He cut his own stomach.
Oh, yeah, he cut his own stomach. He rips out his own intestines and tries choking him with them.
He goes, I'm taking you with me.
Yeah. And it's like, are you kidding me? Riki-Oh gets out of that, like he throws his intestines off like it's nothing. And that guy keeps standing and keeps trying to fight.
And Riki, ran at him at full speed, with a knife.
Then he does the windmill throw and punches him right in his face.
And that's where the x-ray came in.
Yep.
And you're like, yeah.
And it shows his whole face getting smashed in. Mm-hmm. And then he throws him on the ground and his face is looks like normal with a pool of blood sitting next to it.
And he picks up that giant crucifix, frees his friend from the chains.
Let's be honest, there's probably only a crucifix because they had to get their Cool Hand Luke comparison in. Yeah. I'm telling you, this movie was influenced by Cool Hand Luke.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
It sounds crazy. Like, if you showed somebody a clip of this movie, they'd be like, no way, what the fuck are you talking about? But, I don't know, there's a lot of prisoner cheering going on. And
there's a lot of similarities.
Right. Putting him in precarious situations, and they're like, I wonder how he's doing out there. And you're like, this is fucking Cool Hand Luke for $20 and made in China.
I wouldn't pay $20 for this movie.
You would have paid $20?
No, absolutely not.
I wouldn't pay $1.
You wouldn't pay $1?
I would pay $1 for this movie.
No.
Well, fuck you. I'm not really offended. It's not like I was a producer on this movie. I was 2 at the time.
Not seeing those royalty checks.
Royalty. I don't know. I'm sure it's a cult classic. For certain people.
I mean, not that you can trust Wikipedia, but from what I read on Wikipedia, most people love the film. It is a cult hit among some people, but like I said, if you just took the action sequences, cut them all together, maybe even include the 2 flashbacks, I think make it like a 45-minute movie, fine by me. But the hour and a half, that extra 45 minutes, it killed me.
So you wanted a Kung Fury?
I did want
Kung Fury. Is amazing.
It is. Which you mentioned that, and I do see some aspects of Kung Fury in this film.
Oh, yeah. It's like a full theatrical. Mm-hmm. It's the same
full
thing.
Feature.
If you look at it as the same thing, then I don't know. No, there are people that don't like this, though.
Yeah.
How? It's got an 89% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
No way.
Yes way.
For real.
For really real.
I know it has a 7.1 on IMDb. Yeah. It's higher than Mystery Men, I think.
Yeah, Mystery Man was like a 60.
And it's a 6.0 on IMDb.
Yeah.
You'd rather watch Mystery Men, though?
I think, like I said, if you did like a fan cut and did all that stuff, like I said, made a 45-minute film, I'd rather watch this. I would laugh my butt off. I would enjoy it. But leaving it as a whole versus a whole, I'd rather watch Mystery Men.
Drew?
I'd rather watch this.
Good man. You know where I stand.
Yeah, I know where you stand.
So the next fight scene.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for.
Was this when he set the garden on fire and fought the he, whatever?
All 3 of them?
Yep.
I believe...
well, you're forgetting the part where he's in that cell or whatever with... or how do they escape with that Tarzan guy?
Tarzan.
Yeah.
The big biker bad guy.
Yeah, because he was in the that cement room.
Oh, he just got out.
Well, yeah. That actually is this fight. So they set it up because Riki-Oh meets the godson of the guy he just murdered. And he teaches him how to play the flute terribly. I mean, the kid plays it like he's amazing at it, but none of the music matches up.
Him dancing around playing it was one of my favorite parts.
That's the Academy Award performance of a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he finds out that there's an opium trade going on inside the prison. So he goes and lights all the opium plants on fire, which makes these other 3 leaders really upset, and the Lieutenant Warden. So the other 3 then go and attack Riki-Oh, who's sitting there just watching everything burn. And he gets into a giant fist fight with the 3 of them, which then the Lieutenant Warden calls for a lockdown because the Warden's coming and he can't have anything. So he even starts having his own men shoot at his own people.
Right.
And that's where the other 2 disappear, and Riki-Oh and the, Tarzan, end up busting through the wall into the cement room. Or no, they just run into the building and get locked into the cement room. In
this jail cell. And then the steel door drops down and the room starts filling with cement.
Who has a room set up just to fill with cement?
A futuristic prison such as this one.
Why not? If you got the money.
But, I mean...
The animatronic bear room.
Do they just...
Remember?
No one's going to get that. No one's going to get that reference.
That's okay. They don't need to. If I had $1 million, I would have a room filled with animatronic bears. Why? You don't need to know. Well, that makes it sound more creepy than it really is. Actually, yeah, I'll leave it at that. You don't need to know. Rock of fire explosion.
I'm a little curious now.
Oh yeah, Ty doesn't even know that story.
No, I don't.
Nah, never mind. It's about Tim. So Riki-Oh, this room starts filling with cement. It only filled till what? Like, at most, knee level?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like, how's he going to get out of this? And this guy's like, oh, we're finally going to fight. And then Riki-Oh just straight up swan dives through a steel door because fuck y'all.
He's Riki-Oh.
I do what I want. And, yeah.
Paper door?
Paper door.
Paper door.
Realistically, yeah, it's a door made of paper. Like, he fucking dove the shit out of that door.
Oh, he did.
And then he actually saves Tarzan's life by taking him out of the cement room.
Yeah.
They're both just drenched and covered in cement, and then Riki-Oh passes out because, well, he starts to harden or something.
He freezes walking up the stairs towards the warden, or assistant warden.
Yeah.
Because concrete is known to freeze your entire body when you're covered in it.
Which then, so all the opium's now destroyed. Warden shows up. You finally meet the Warden. Which sets up the next fight scene.
His kid's a shithead.
Oh, his kid's a piece of shit. He kills a man because of his kid.
Yeah. Stabs him right in the eye. He goes, "Do you have eyes?" And he points to his eyes, and he takes his cane and stabs him, and the kid's like, "Oh."
Oh.
But yeah, the kid's a fuckhead. The Warden's there. Warden's a dick. And
You disappoint me. You said the kid's gonna get his comeuppance. He never got him.
Oh, yeah.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, that never happened. The kid just kind of disappeared.
Yeah. Right before the final boss fight, yeah.
I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
That's my bad. If I would have made the movie, that kid would have got his comeuppance. But I don't know how Ricky feels about murdering children, regardless of how shitty they are. Let's be honest, guys. Sometimes kids deserve to get murdered.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm just moving on to the next fight scene.
Okay.
Yeah, what happened next?
So the Warden finally gets to meet Riki-Oh. He's pissed off at him because he destroyed his opium. He's been making a mockery of his whole prison system. So here's Riki-Oh chained in this cell, covered in cement.
Like, flexes that shit right off.
Yeah, he flexes it right off.
Rock hard.
Yeah.
Rock hard Ricky body. Just glistening.
Just that cement just comes off of him like he sheds it like a skin. I can't even think of a good comparison for what he does.
I've never watched the train derail. Looking in your eyes as you were talking, I watched it careen off a cliff. No, the dude's ripped.
Yeah, he is. He's in very good shape.
He could give Liu Kang a run for his money. Run. A run for his money. Chan chose his own path.
Remember when our parents died?
Ooh. God, I love that movie.
Mortal Kombat's classic.
These are $500 sunglasses, asshole. That's my Goro.
It's terrible.
So Riki-Oh, the real Goro was terrible. Fucking giant 600-pound animatronic puppet. I'm going to have to email all of you and see which of these tangents we want to keep in this episode.
Not many.
We've derailed hard.
There's no logical, I don't know, points of this movie to go to. It's just the fights. Really.
Exactly, yeah. That's all there is really to talk about.
That's why we're talking about Mortal Kombat.
You know it's bad when we have to reference other movies for 10 minutes at a time.
But he sheds off the cement. Riki-Oh sheds off the cement.
Oh yeah, that's what derailed us.
Yes, It did. All of a sudden, he's grabbing the Warden. He's banging his head against the bars. He's trying to kill him. Tarzan busts through the wall. Even though Riki-Oh saved Tarzan's life, Tarzan's here to kill him. Well, Riki-Oh does the same thing he's done to everybody. He punches out his elbow, breaks his leg.
Punches through his jaw.
Yes!
Yeah.
Right underneath. So he goes straight through the tongue and everything.
And it looks like shit.
Yeah.
But goddammit, I laughed anyway.
Yeah. Tarzan got a few good shots in too. He actually bent the bars of the cell and locked Riki-Oh into them for a while.
Tried to crush his head between them.
Mm-hmm. Before Riki-Oh was able to use his chica or whatever it was to get out. Then the warden's like, I had enough of this. Starts closing the cell. But Riki-Oh is holding up the roof that's about to crush him.
Yeah, they're trying to compress him under like a giant metal ceiling they're dropping.
Imagine a futuristic trap prison.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which instead of just jumping through the giant hole in the wall Tarzan made, logically, he decides I'm going to hold this thing up and try and break the engine.
Fuck logic.
So he does push it up, starts coming back down, has a harder time pushing it up. Warden tasers the bars, which electrocutes him.
And electrocute, yeah.
And then you wonder, how's he going to get out of this? Is he just going to go through the hole in the wall that he probably should have walked in? No, he's going to dive.
Well, Tarzan saves him. Tarzan saves...
That's right.
He stands up.
And starts holding the thing up himself to allow Riki-Oh, I almost said Liu Kang. Allow Riki-Oh to jump through the bars. He jumps through a steel door. Fuck steel bars. Those are nothing to him.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He just doesn't choose to do it until the last second.
Yeah, so Tarzan gets killed, which is not Riki-Oh's fault. It is for the most part. I mean, he left him totally destroyed and shell of a man, but then they round up Riki-Oh again, and then they bury him. Yep. Which is a whole nother scene.
They say, all of you prisoners are going to throw in one... what is it?
Scoop of dirt.
Yeah, one scoop of dirt. Yep. And you see 5 guys come over, and the hole's filled. And we're like, damn, that was fast.
And then they cover his head and gave him a bamboo stick to breathe out of.
Yep.
To last the night. Oh, gosh.
And then in the other Cool Hand Luke-esque moment, they're all like, how do you think he's doing out there? And, you know, all the prisoners are smoking and looking out the windows, and crazy bitch jumps out of the floor and fucking drop kicks a dog in half. Like an asshole.
Yeah, one of the 2 remaining gang leaders. Yeah, she jumps out of nowhere. Oh, there goes the dog. Why the dog was there to begin with, I don't know. Why was there a dog in prison?
That dog until then.
Yeah, it just happened to be there. Again, makes no sense, but what can you do? Move on to the next morning. They uncover Riki-Oh, still alive. He was buried all night, but still lived. And they bring in a backhoe, and they undig him, and somehow catch the chains that are holding him together just right to pull him out.
Well, they don't pay that backhoe operator for nothing.
Well, it was the freaking leader of one of the 2 remaining gang leaders that's operating it. You think she's really licensed to do that?
Maybe she excels at her side jobs. How are you going to knock someone for wanting to be the best at what they do? No, this movie sucks, though. I'm playing devil's advocate. Yeah, it was odd that they happened to loop it just perfect. But, yeah, he just flexes out of that, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they attack him with a backhoe.
Yes.
And then I don't really remember what happened. It's kind of hard to follow. You're just kind of filling in gaps between fight scenes.
Yeah. Because, they attack him with the backhoe. I think he fights them again, but he gets beat, obviously. I think that's how he ends up in the rebar.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Is he gets either knocked out by the backhoe or they just beat him up again and then put him in this maze of rebar that he can't move.
I wonder how long it took to get him out of there.
I wonder how long it took to put him in there.
Yeah.
Because they probably set him in there, then bent all the rebar around him so he couldn't move. Which then, one of the remaining gang leaders, the warden's talking to him, he's like, the only reason you're still alive is because I need to know who you are, where you come from. And I think this is where Riki-Oh has his flashback to his girlfriend.
Was this the remote control planes one or the other one?
Oh, I forgot about the remote control planes one. We don't even need to discuss that.
There wasn't a lot in it.
No. Except that he, declared her love for her. But
with a helicopter with a sign.
Yeah. Said something like, she's a firefly in the night. Drew was very touched by it. I saw him cry a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he has the girlfriend in the field. Nothing really happens. Except that they're flying these planes and he devotes his love to her. But the one I'm talking about is where she was at class or something. She's walking home, runs into some opium addicts, gets kidnapped.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden she's just thrown on this guy's bed. They're like, hey, I brought you this girl. Right? He's like, okay.
The guy didn't even really do anything,
though,
did he? He turned and was like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And then I think he tried to,
Yeah, he sat on the bed next to her. She woke up screaming, ran up 5 flights of stairs, and then right off a building. She wasn't paying attention, but it's just it's terrible that she died, but it was hilarious because you just see this terrible looking mannequin just fly off this building and just land on the ground. And
yeah, you laughed a lot at that one.
It was really stupid. Just again, every major scene you can obviously tell this is a mannequin that they're doing all this terrible stuff to. Riki-Oh gets kicked in the face from behind. You obviously can tell it's a mannequin just getting kicked over. Some of that is very cheesy, but it makes it funny, but doesn't make it great.
Well,
so while in the rebar, though, the warden has him beaten senseless by the 2 remaining gang leaders. He even gets a thing of razor blades shoved into his mouth and slapped around, and then he ends up spitting them back in the warden's face, which then he gets knocked out again, ends up in jail cell, and more chains that he can easily bust out of, but decides not to. Then that some prisoner who, again, random prisoner, gives him food. He eats it. I guess it Popeyes him. It was his rice is his spinach.
Mm-hmm.
I called that out too.
Yeah, you did.
It was gonna be a total Popeye moment.
Because then the next morning, that guy gets the heck beat out of him and gets killed. Oh, yep. Look at Riki-Oh. Busts out of the chains. Busts out of the door. Well, no, they came in. He had busted out of the chains, but they came into the room. He beats the hell out of the people. Because that's where I think he starts to kill the Lieutenant Warden.
Yep.
And he also kills the snitch.
And then the prisoners are breaking bottles and shanking him in the neck.
Yeah. Cutting off his arm.
Because they're tired
One
of
them
shit.
has a pickaxe and cuts off the Lieutenant Warden's arm. It's like, what?
This is a prison that plays a little fast and loose. They're like, yeah, we let our inmates carry pickaxes. Keeps our guards on their toes.
Yeah. Then, SWAT guards come in. They're all decked head to toe. And
there's riot gear.
Yeah, riot gear, riot shield.
Ricky jumps off the stairs and punches through a riot shield.
And punches through a guy's
stomach.
Yeah. So, grabs the Lieutenant Warden, has him taken to the Warden, where it sets up the epic final boss fight.
Yeah.
Where
he'd thrown him through a wall.
Mm-hmm, throws the Warden or the Lieutenant Warden through a wall, which then the Warden himself has this magical gun that shoots someone, and then they explode.
Yeah, he inflates like a balloon, and
like Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of Total Recall.
Yeah.
When he's on Mars' surface, his face just starts getting bigger and bigger. And
like what's her face and Willy Wonka.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, one of the kids when she eats the.
Which one is that? Willy Wonka, the one that inflates.
Veruca Salt.
Yep, exactly.
No, Violet Beauregard.
Yes, because she turns violet.
Violet. Yeah.
Veruca is the one who
she goes in the furnace.
Yeah. They hope that she didn't go into the furnace.
All those kids fucking died.
What an uplifting movie. That's my kind of movie.
Because children get murdered?
Gene Wilder understands that sometimes kids just need to die.
I don't think that's why he did that film.
To lure kids into his candy factory and kill them.
It's actually a documentary.
But yeah, the warden kills somebody with his gun. I think it maybe was Lieutenant Warden.
Yep. He shot him. They used him as a bullet shield.
He's like, I have no use for you. And he shoots him and he explodes.
And you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. So then Riki-Oh helps all the other prisoners that are with him escape. They escape in some dumb waiters. So he finally gets a great showdown with the last two remaining gang leaders. He does one of them that uses his scorpion-like stuff. He doesn't really do anything to him, but the other one, the actual martial artist, finally gets the upper hand when she kicks her foot through like what appears to be like a water heater, and so he literally breaks off her leg.
Yep, just chops it clean off with his hand.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure does he just choke her out? He kills her, but I don't remember how.
I don't think he killed her right away, but I think we're to believe she just bled out or something like that. Or no, he mangled her arms, remember? Mm-hmm. He pushed them together.
Yeah, but I didn't know if that killed her. I was like...
Yeah, I don't think she ever officially died, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Then the other one, the scorpion-like one, tries running away, and one of the dumbwaiters as well, gets shot by the warden, so he explodes, leaving the warden versus Riki-Oh. And then the warden takes one punch, goes up against the wall. He travels back 20 feet. Then he
turns into Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, he decides to go Super Shredder.
Yeah, he really does.
Oh my gosh, that was such a bad transformation scene. Oh my gosh.
Okay, number one, you cannot take this movie seriously just because the fact it's based on a manga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't take it too seriously. I have a good time with it.
See, I get that, and there are films I don't take too seriously at all. But, like MacGruber. I love MacGruber. It's great for what it is. It's a funny film. It, kind of is a spoof of MacGyver. Doesn't try to be too serious. But, I don't know. Something about this film, I just was like, I don't know. Just stuff I couldn't get past.
I'll give it to you for Christmas.
I will burn it.
So yeah, the warden turns into a giant, shitty-looking rubber monster man.
Which, Riki-Oh, first thing, punches a hole right through his stomach, does nothing to him. He's like, alright, whatever.
Yeah, he throws him like a rag doll, it didn't even matter. And then, I'm trying to remember what happened. There was a slow-mo cartwheel through the air type of thing.
Slams him down to the meat grinder because they were in the kitchen.
Yep. And then so much fake blood was used in this scene that he couldn't get it off of him for 3 days.
The actor couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he grinds him down to a nub of his head and maybe his shoulders. Like you just see this Play-Doh-like substance coming out of the meat grinder. Supposedly that's his tissue and body. And so Riki-Oh now
You mean it wasn't real?
No, it was real. They were that cheap.
They got a real human and they put him in a meat slicer?
Yeah. They were that cheap. They're like, just like Poltergeist, it was easier to use real bones than it was to go make fake bones.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at least for the body double, they could have used like Tom Brady or somebody.
Man, Tom Brady was 12?
Yeah. Throw him in there.
Some kids.
That's fucked up.
But it's Brady.
True.
He'd make an exception for Brady. He just doesn't want to admit it. He doesn't want to legally incriminate himself on a podcast.
No. All I have to do is just destroy my phone, and then nothing ever happened.
Right.
This is turning into a sports podcast now.
We've talked ourselves into a hole.
Well, here comes the great ending.
The great ending.
After Riki-Oh now has defeated all 4 gang leaders, the warden and the lieutenant warden, he then walks outside where the prisoners are rioting with the guards, and he goes, "You're all free now," and just punches a giant wall. The giant prison wall, he just punches a huge hole in it and goes, "You're all free!" And he walks out. Guards are all gone.
Which, again, is another example. He could have done that at the beginning of the fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, there would have been no movie.
He really had no reason to fight any of these people. No. He could have left whenever he wanted to.
You know why he did it? Because he likes to kill people.
Yeah, he's a psychopath.
He's a masochist.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I can break these chains, but I kind of like getting hurt a little bit. Kind of gets me a little hard.
I don't think he thought that at all.
It's in the extra bonus stuff.
Oh, well, I'm not watching that. I'm not watching the making of this movie.
You don't want to?
No, I saw it on there and I was like, I'm not watching that.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
If I needed to fall asleep, like if I was having trouble falling asleep one night, maybe I'd watch it. But
Ty really didn't like this. So here's a question. Now that's pretty much Riki-Oh. Yeah, it was scatterbrained and sporadic, and we're trying not to drag it out as long and as detailed as we had previously. But I don't know. I think that's a good cursory, summary of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you like action movies and you don't want to see anything that's a work of art, I think it's definitely worth picking up. I would pay for it. I did pay for it.
You did pay for it.
You said you wouldn't.
And
would you? What would you be willing to pay for a movie like this? $5.
So he says bargain bin.
I think I paid about $9, and I feel okay about that. I don't have any regrets. But it isn't for everybody. You kind of have to like bad movies. It is a bad movie, but it's an entertaining bad movie.
At least there are redeemable qualities about it.
Right.
Like, it's entertaining to see, like, how terrible the special effects are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those that I read little bits and pieces of and thought, how is this a movie? And you kind of just, morbid curiosity, you're like, I have to see what this is about.
Like, I know I shit on this film quite a bit, or it seems like I have. And like I said, when the action sequences are happening, I found it really enjoyable, really funny, because like Drew talked about, some of the special effects are just terrible. But when nothing was happening, I literally felt like I was going to fall asleep.
No, it's slow. And I think the reason it's slow, you have no real characters.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of just waiting between set pieces for something to happen to keep you, interested.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think the fight scenes, there's enough of them, and they're crazy enough where I was like, yeah, that's worth $9. I don't feel too bad about it. It's not a movie I'd recommend to a lot of people. I think I only ever gave it to you, Drew, to put on your Plex.
Yeah.
Other than that, I couldn't talk my brother into watching it. He could not give less of a fuck. I've showed him clips, and he's like, it looks like shit, and I don't care. So I don't know, if you enjoy movies so bad that you can kind of laugh at it, then
see, the way you described it, I was thinking something like Napoleon Dynamite, where first time I watched it, I was like, this is the worst movie ever. It's so dumb. It's so dull.
Napoleon Dynamite.
I'm just going off my own personal experience here.
All right.
But then, like, with subsequent rewatches and just talking about it with friends, I started to enjoy it more because I thought it was so stupid, it was funny. That's kind of the feeling I was getting. And when you were talking about it, now watching it, I'm like, well, the fight scenes are hilarious and enjoyable. Everything, like you said, in between, there's no character development. There's no real plot. There's no reason why he's doing this.
It's pretty bare bones.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they had fight choreographed stuff, and they're like, now we got to build a movie around it. And being based on a manga, that could be pretty likely. Yeah. They're like, yeah, we have all these fight scenes, but we don't have a movie. But I'll give them credit. It looked like they filmed it in a real prison.
Yeah. You dive through any prison bars lately? Or
yeah. You never dive through a sheet of metal?
And at least they didn't borrow sets from Batman Forever.
Yeah, bitch.
So what would you guys give this on our entertainment scale?
Why don't you start?
Like I've said through this whole pod, you take out just have the action sequences and all that, and even throw in that one flashback with the girlfriend, I would say 7.5. But the whole movie as itself, I'm going to go probably same as Mystery Men, say a 5. Like, the fight scenes are great, but just everything in between is like a struggle to stay awake.
I think that entertainment-wise, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I don't know, I really enjoyed it for what it was. Mindless entertainment, kind of silly everything, and I don't know, I have a good time watching it.
I'd probably say 6.7 out of 10.
I like how you go with the weird fractions. Like last week you said 4 1/4, and now you're going with 6.7.
Yeah, why not?
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
10-point scale, I can do what I want.
Okay, so can we agree that we all like some bad movies?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely,
yeah.
I do.
Name a movie that is a bad movie that you enjoy more.
Kung Fury.
Okay.
Without a paddle.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, I actually own Without a Paddle.
Seth Green and Matthew Lillard, right?
Yeah, and Dax Shepard.
The fuck, Ty? I don't even know what to say.
Okay, so you asked this question, and now you're judging me.
Yeah. You think Without a Paddle is better than this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably better.
Man.
I'm trying to think of one that I like better. Troll 2 is pretty fun. Troll 2 is a steaming piece of shit. They're eating her, and then they're going to eat me! Oh my god! There's a part where the dad throws open a door and goes, "You gotta tighten your belt because we don't have food and there's gonna be hunger pains." And you're like, what the fuck is going on right now?
I have seen films that I would not watch over this. Most of them are like Netflix movies. Like, oh, if you want a terrible horror movie, watch Seven Below, I believe is what it was called. Val Kilmer.
Ooh.
What's his name from Ving Rhames?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, terrible. Just terrible.
Yeah, I figured when you said Val Kilmer that it was probably not...
I hate you. Val Kilmer was a decent actor at one point.
Was.
Yes.
Was. He has fallen on hard times.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, man.
Yes, that is a great film. I have that. That should be one we should do sometime.
It's a good movie.
All right, so we kind of set up next week. We're
Super Mario.
Super Mario Brothers, the Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo classic.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
I've never seen it, and I don't know what to expect.
I've seen it.
Expect dog shit.
Yeah, expect dog shit. Expect nothing like the video game or any video game lore. But it can be some fun in it. It's more what happened with the filming is what makes this movie fun.
Should I be drunk during this?
It would help. It would help.
Okay. I could do that. All right.
Well, thank you for listening to this week's TJD. I'm Tyrell.
Jake.
And Drew. You guys like what you hear? Like and subscribe. Share it with your friends.